Yes, even after 2,000 years, Christmas still has the power to lift us up, to bring us together, to change lives, to change the world. The Christmas story is at the heart of the Christmas Christian faith. But the messages of hope, love, peace, and joy, they're also universal. It speaks to all of us, whether we're Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, or any other faith, or no faith at all. It speaks to all of us as human beings who are here on this earth, to care for one another, to look out for one another, to love one another.
Being the positive right now, Americans can expect to see an extra $100 in their bank account starting this week. The lawmakers have confirmed another round of inflation relief checks are going out to people that are eligible. The Democrats are proposing a $100 monthly relief check, and also people can expect to receive stimulus in just a couple of minutes. So South Carolina residents who have filed their tax returns will be starting the new year off with a great financial start. It's thanks to a tax rebate, it will give them up to $800. And according to South Carolina Department of Revenue, the specific amount that recipients will receive from this rebate will be based on the 2021 tax liability, which is defined as the amount left over after subtracting credits from the income that's taxes they owe. For people whose tax liabilities are less than $800, the rebates will be equal to their tax liability, while filers with a tax liability equal to or over $800 will receive exactly $800. The money from this payment will be given in the same bank account that people received their 2021 refund. And South Carolina residents who have filed their tax forms by October can expect to see this check before the end of the year in just a few days. According to the state legislation, the Department of Revenue has already capped the highest amount that people can receive from this rebate at $800. So it's a stimulus payment that only a few people can receive, and not everybody can qualify for the stimulus check. So it's important to make sure that you qualify for the stimulus to receive this rebate at $800. And according to the Democratic representatives of the state, lawmakers are ready to tap into the state's projected surplus to bolster tax rebates to the residents that qualify for it. According to some people, a spokeswoman for the governor, the state's projected budget surplus could reach as high as $803 billion. So far, the tentative plan is to pursue rebates of about $750 per taxpayer, or $1,500 per jointly filing couple. She also stated the record high revenue projections present a unique opportunity to keep more money in New Mexico residents' pockets. The governor will continue to work closely with legislative leadership in the session as the session continues to approach its finalizing deals of the package. The details of the measure, however, need to be ironed out. The state legislature is set to convene on January 17 again for a 60-day session. Now, the party will control both chambers of the state legislature, much like the Democrats did prior to the midterm. During the past few years, New Mexico has distributed 3 different waves of rebates, rolled out in May, July, and August, and now this includes a $250 rebate for single tax filers earning about $75,000 in 2021 and $500 for joint filers earning less than $150,000. That was rolled out in July. It also featured a payment of $250 to individual filers and $500 to those who filed jointly in May and August. Like most parts of the United States, New Mexico has been hit hard with inflation and surging prices at the gas pump, though some of these upward pricing pressures appear to have eased slightly in recent weeks. So what we're saying is that numerous states have doled out beefed up tax rebates or stimulus measures to help ease financially inflationary pressures and make use of burgeoning budgetary surpluses. Now, earlier this year, a new form of government stimulus payment was proposed to cover the rocketing price of gas, but many Americans are still pushing these relief checks to be passed by Congress. The Gas Rebate Act of 2022, introduced by Representatives Mike Thompson and John Larson, was an Americans a monthly energy rebate check, and the payments would be around $100 a month with an additional $100 per dependent in any month, where the national average of gas exceeds $4 a gallon. The rebate will be distributed much like the most recent economic impact payment. Representative Thompson said Americans are feeling the impact at the pump of the crisis, and we are introducing this legislation to provide middle-class Americans with monthly payments to ease the burdens of the crisis. So, I hope that President Biden can do more for the people and send out stimulus payments before the end of the year. We all know that stimulus checks are very important for the people that need it. So, let's see if President Biden can do what he promised us early this year.
Older Americans were food insecure. And in my state of New York, an estimated 7.6% of older adults are food insecure. Older adults of racial and ethnic minorities and those who live below the poverty line are disproportionately impacted by food insecurity. Food insecurity can impair nutrition, increasing the likelihood of chronic health conditions among older adults and reducing capacity for active, healthy, and independent life. I recently sent a bipartisan letter that Senator Sanders and 2 members of Congress co-led with me to appropriators requesting that the final fiscal year 23 appropriations bill include $1.93 billion in funding for older Americans, the Older Americans Act programs, and the Older Americans Act Title III-C nutrition services, which critically support the delivery of nutritious meals to older adults throughout the country. Mr. Everett, thank you for sharing some of your work in promoting affordable and healthy food. How would strong OAA funding improve Baylor's collaborative on hunger and poverty's threefold strategy for cultivating solutions to end hunger? How can strong OAA funding booster multi-sectoral cooperation?
Thank you, Senator. To begin with, I would say if one way in which this is going to have a huge impact is that families or senior adults who are grand families. So this was an issue that came up earlier, and I just want to say the importance of this particular intervention for grand families. First of all, we're trying to, if you think about the average individual at a household level and the insurmountable issues that they're trying to overcome, this particular funding, if they don't have access to transportation or limited access to transportation, this funding provides resources to get food directly to their front porches through food box programs, through Meals on Wheels interventions. And so without those supports, that is going to put an additional
District of Columbia. But each state has its own guidelines for program participation and overall eligibility. In order to apply, you will need to contact your state's distributing agency, and the program is in addition to SNAP benefits. This means it's possible to receive SNAP benefits and still receive food packages. As part of the program, with the additional stimulus relief funds, around 760,000 elderly individuals now receive food packages. Food stamps have been around for almost 60 years, and the program is federally funded but administered by the states, providing eligible low-income individuals and families assistance to avoid food instability. It is the largest food assistance program in the country, and now saw participation soar by nearly 6 million during the crisis, now serving over 40 million people. Prior to the crisis, roughly 2 out of 5 beneficiaries were working families with an income. They now make up nearly half. More than half households that receive SNAP assistance are families with children, and the dollar value of benefits is determined by the size of a household minus a portion of their own resources that they are expected to use for purchasing food. Generally, it's 30% of the household's net monthly income, with certain necessities like dependent care, medical expenses, and shelter deducted. According to the USDA Food and Nutrition Service, currently average SNAP benefit per month is around $239. But the allotment ranges from an average of $193 in New Hampshire to $271 in Utah and